What up, world? Welcome to this Week 10 edition of the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. Eagles versus Cowboys, or what's left of the Cowboys edition. I thank you guys for always watching. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. You can check the show out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and as well as on Substack. Um, Morning edition. So, I'm actually at funny thing. I actually got like some other work to handle today. I thought I was actually off and actually got to work, so gotta go knock this out. But I definitely want to make sure I got this video in for y'all. As always, love y'all. So thank you for as always for watching and plugging in. Hopping into this episode, like I said, Eagles versus Cowboys Week 10 instant. You know, reaction recap, more or less, more of a recap video. What an ass whipping! What an ass whipping! Get the funeral ready. The Cowboys are officially done. Especially division chances. Mathematically, there's going to be another loss or two, and then they'll be out of it. But the funeral has started. The funeral has started. Y'all could kill all that. They can kill all that Cooper Rush talk. They can kill all that. Zeke's revitalized, and the team's gonna run the table. Y'all can dead all that shit. It's over. It is over. Make no mistake about it. That was a thorough ass whooping that we witnessed Sunday afternoon. Took a little bit to start. Looking at some of the notes and things that I have here, it's kind of crazy because I lie to you not. I watched the full game and I was kind of like looking at it in the first half, and I'm kind of like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, why are we kind of like sleepwalking through this game? The first 20, 25 minutes, it was just like, all right, are we taking this team seriously? Are we taking this game seriously? Like, what's the game plan? And then, you starting off the game with, a couple sacks and penalties. So you're kind of like, oh, shit. What the fuck is this about to be? Is this about to be one of them games where we shit the bed? Or, like, what we going to do? And then, lo and behold, Cowboys get the ball on offense. Cooper Rush fumbles. Milton Williams recovers. Game changes from there. Jalen Hurts scores a couple plays later. And then you got, just again complete annihilation. To give you some of the statistical numbers, which were just atrocious. I mean, this is the Cowboys for you. This is just the Dallas Cowboys yesterday, their performance. Cooper Rush, 13 of 23, 45 yards, average 2 yards per pass. Quite ass. Trey Lance. So there was two quarterbacks that played yesterday. Keep this in mind. Trey Lance, 4 of 6, 21 yards, and an interception. And collectively, they were 3 of 14 on third down. Some of the worst football you could probably witness. Definitely. Make no mistake about it, the Cowboys are done. Any Cowboys fans that are running up to you in the streets today talking shit or still talking about, yesteryear, think of them as like, the vagrant on the street that's, deranged, on PCP, or, the old time drug dealer who bragged about once having it, because it's over now. There's nothing to discuss anything. I mean, it's nothing to discuss any further. It's pretty much this is literally. Damn it, I have to just say it. They are an atrocious football team. Because I know how football works. I'm not necessarily sad because, like, let's be real. It's Dallas Cowboys. Fuck them. Let's be real. But the reality of the situation is, they're so bad. It's kind of like if we didn't blow them out, I would have felt some type of way, honestly. But and then going into some of the other things that I definitely noticed in the game that definitely I thought were dope. And even when you're Hurts throw that interception, you still kind of wonder what happened. And then all of a sudden around the 2-minute mark, and it was kind of weird because the defense played a major factor into this game. Hurst throws the interception to trying to get it to Goddard. Trayvon Diggs intercepts it. Great play by Diggs. They get the ball. They're making a play. And then all of a sudden, you got the Cowboys. They got momentum. They're only down by 4 points. So you're like, okay, all right. Dallas look like they're about to show some fight. And then all of a sudden, Zeke gets the ball. And keep in mind, y'all, this is the same man who literally got benched last week. This is the same man who literally was pissed off because he wasn't getting touches like that. fumbled on the fucking 1 yard line, ejected like a fucking slot machine. Cha-ching. Ball rolling in the end zone. Cooper DeJean recovers. Whole game changes from there. But the crazy part is, Hurts gets strip sacked. So then, momentum swings back to Dallas. Michael Parsons makes a hell of a play. Parsons had 2 sacks on the game. You can tell he was happy to be back. Granted, he was also not playing Jordan Mailata. He's playing against Fred Johnson, so keep that in mind. And I definitely felt like there were some things that, in the first half that definitely should have gotten taken care of, which ironically did right before halftime. I felt like early in the game, Jalen was holding on to the ball too long. They had to start using some of that quick passing game. They were trying to blitz the shit out of the offense and suffocate them through the blitz. But then right before halftime, it's funny because I wrote here in my notes, AJ and Smitty getting more involved. Smitty is getting deep. Jalen must throw an accurate ball. And then all of a sudden I wrote, Jalen is knifing through the Dallas defense with running the football, and literally 28 seconds left with an opportunity to score a touchdown. I mean, like, they drove down the field 84 yards in 85 seconds. Touchdown to Dallas Goedert. It's 14-3 at half. That was the ball game. At that point, Philadelphia just realized, yeah, we're going to turn it up. It's over. This is the JV Cowboys. We're going to turn it up. It's over. I mean, literally, at that point, it was ball game. And after halftime, you got Cooper DeJean making a great return, putting the Eagles back in scoring position. Johnny Wilson scores his first touchdown. Shout out to Johnny Wilson. Eagles up 21-3. And then the defense, again, just destroying what the remnants of what's left of the Cowboys. Punish that offensive line. You're talking about 3 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, 7 pass deflections, 4 fumble recoveries, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Shout out to C.J. 1 interception on the game. Even Bryce Huff was getting in on the action. He had to have a half sack. So the whole defense was getting involved. It was just a complete shit show. Credit to Zach Bourne. Zach Bourne out there making fucking plays. How we pay that man. It's kind of like how it is with Juan Soto and the Yankees. It's going to be like that with Zach Bourne at some point with the Eagles. How we pay that man. It got so disrespectful. Kenny Pickett even got to get in the game. So it was a shit show. Cowboys are a walking atrocity. I mean, you got them making excuses after the game. Motherfuckers talking about the shades and shit in the stadium and the sunlight and, missing touchdown passes. And, I didn't hear any of this. Early in the year when you were putting up numbers against, mediocre teams. And, it's just funny. But all that being said, fuck Dallas. And, 1 down. We'll have 1 more with them later in the year. But at that point, we may have to probably have to sit guys, depending on playoff seeding and positioning. So we'll see. But more or less, what I really want to get into is this game coming up Thursday night. I'll definitely have a preview video for that coming up, guys. That game is going to be obviously Thursday night, Eagles versus Commanders. It'll be in Philadelphia. This is essentially for the division. We have a half game on Washington right now due to the Dallas game yesterday and Washington losing to Pittsburgh. So take that for what it's worth. But beating Washington Thursday would definitely cement that position early on at this point in the season. And at that point, you just got to stem the tide, and then, you're talking about another division title, which again, don't get me wrong, for the Eagles, it's about making the playoffs and contending in January and February. So to me, it's great if they win the division title. That's fantastic. But however, their metric really is being measured by what they do in January and February. And make no question, the formula is working. I mean, if you see what they're doing offensively, Jalen Hurts again, 14-20, 202 yards. 20 attempts. Saquon touched the ball 14 times. I mean, look at the running back distribution. You had Saquon 14 carries, 66 yards. He was averaging he was 4.7, so he was hovering around almost 5 per carry. You had Jalen Hurts, 7 carries, 58 yards, 2 touchdowns. Another long 24-yard run, had one the previous week against Jacksonville. In the running back room, you had a lot of production from all the guys. Will Shipley's, Kenny Gainwell's. Shipley had 34 yards, Gainwell had 30, and then, like I said, as a collective, all the guys included, you had 38 carries, 187 yards, and you're averaging 4.9, essentially 5 yards a carry. So Credit to the Eagles offense and the running game. The running game is where it's at. Like I said, that this is a running football team. And when this running game is operating, it's impossible to stop this team. And even when you think you got that stopped, Jalen breaks open a play. And then guys are getting open. It's just, And it's funny, even Kenny Pickett got in on some tush push action, like I said previously stated. Like, so even he had a yard rushing. Quiet 100-yard game from A.J. Brown, doing what he do. Like I said, the ball distribution between the receivers and backs was great. You have 15 to the receivers alone. You have 15 receptions, 207 yards. So keep in mind, AJ had 100. So the rest of that, and 2 touchdowns. So again, loved it. I like how this team is playing right now. They have momentum. Defense is starting to solidify and come together. It seems like they figured out the formula. They finally listened and have Jalen throw 20, 25 times. Run the ball, have Jalen make some plays if need be. Defense stay stout enough, and because this is what you do to bad teams. You bury. The Cowboys literally had 24 carries on 97 yards rushing. That's credit to the Philly defense. Receiving this is the receiving core for the Cowboys. Period. These stats I'm giving you: 17 receptions for 66 yards, and that's with CD Lamb on the field. Shout out to the Eagles defense for taking him away and just making them ineffective. Yeah. Like I said, all around good performance. But Washington will be the key. Then you figure they got that game, and then it'll be like a 10-day layoff, and they'll be back at it. And I'm gonna check their schedule coming up because it's gonna be very interesting looking at this. A second here, yeah. So okay, so perfect. So you got it's 10-day layoff after the Washington game. You play Washington, and then you go on the road to play the Rams, and then you're back, and then you're on the road again for Baltimore. So this little stretch is going to be very key for the Eagles. You essentially got 2 NFC opponents, and then you got that swing game where you got the Ravens. So it's going to be interesting. And that's like I said, that game's Thursday night. The Rams game is November 24th, and then that Ravens game is December 1st. So. They got some late games coming up. That Washington game's 8:15 game, obviously Thursday night. The Rams game Sunday Night Football is 8:20 game, unless it gets flexed. I doubt it now. I doubt that gets flexed. And then the Baltimore game 4:25. So Eagles got an interesting 3-game stretch coming up that could really help dictate their season because they can really get through that stretch. A lot of things are gonna be looking good for this team going into the playoff run. So. It's going to do it for this episode, guys. Like I said, I appreciate you guys and I love you guys as always for watching. I have the Week 10 recap video of the rest of the games that I watched and some of the other further takes and some of the things that, definitely will have to get discussed, like, the Jets getting, dog walked by the Cardinals and the excuses that, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets are making, which is just fucking hilarious right now. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Again, like, share, and subscribe. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.